Go.
Jack Rose and I.
Okay. Yep, just start setting up the drum kit, Jack, and talk us through any of the movements that you're making.
I'm a fairly big person, so I tend to have everything sort of spread out. Otherwise my arms crash and here.
Okay, good stuff. Right, there's per sticks there, Jack. Just give it a bit of a play, just to prove it all works. Great. Okay, lovely. Good stuff. All working for you?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so just come have a seat. No, it's fine. Okay, cool. So, Jack, what are the health and safety considerations you should take into account when playing the drums?
Correct positioning of your seat away from the kit. For instance, if you've got quite big legs, you sit further back, and if you're quite small, you sit closer. Sitting upright because of your posture, you don't want to injure your back whilst playing, slip disc and everything. Holding your sticks correctly so they don't break or risk every time when you're playing. A drum kit is heavy, so it's always caution when you're lifting it. You use two people to lift really heavy things, the cases and things like that.
Okay, good. Jack, describe your warm-up routine.
I tend to either play on a practice pad or when I'm sitting down in my front room before I go upstairs and play. I play general rudiments around the kit, so single straight rolls, flams, paradiddles, and there's sort of simple grooves around on the toms and things like that.
Okay. So Jack, we briefly touched on it then, but when you're setting up a drum kit, what are some of the considerations that you make when you're setting your kit up?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally, in terms of your own personal choices.
I tend to sit quite far back because I have quite longer legs and it helps me when I'm playing. My kit's quite spread out as well because my arms are normally long for some reason, and otherwise I end up hitting my fingers on hi-hats and rims of the snare. And I have my snare quite high up as well because the lower half of my leg comes up quite high when I'm playing.
Okay, cool. Jack, what drum kit do you play and why have you chosen to play that kit?
I play Mapex Saturn series. No personal choice, it's just the only one that was around when I was buying a kit. The dimensions of it are a 28 by 18 bass drum. I have a 10-inch and a 12-inch tom, the 14-inch floor tom. My snares are 14-inch and my cymbals are Zildjian K cymbals. My hi-hat is a 14-inch and my crash is a 14 and my rides are 20.
Okay. Why have you chosen to play those sizes and makes?
I'm not too keen on my ride cymbal as it goes actually. I prefer an 18-inch. The 20 is just a bit too. I don't know how to describe it. I don't like the sound of it at all really for the type of music I play.
Okay.
And 18 inches just a lot nicer of a sound than a ride. I play a 14-inch crash just because I play a 16. But I find it quite a nice sound as well. But if I have go out and I tend to play a stacked crash with a Zildjian Geneva sort of thing on top of it as well. My hi-hats is just standard 14 inches always, really.
Okay. Jack, what regular maintenance procedures do you carry out on your drum kit?
I lube up any moving parts, e.g. like bass pedal chains and all the moving sort of things on there, my lugs on all my drums, and occasionally like just take general care of my cymbals and my rims and make sure all my heads aren't badly damaged or dented.
Okay. Anything else? No, cool, right, okay. There's a snare drum next to you, Jack. You can take that head off of it and put that down a second. Put the snare drum on your lap. Can you talk me through just every bit of that drum, please, from the top to the bottom?
Right, so you've got the batter head on top, which is the head that you obviously hit, and you've got the resonant head on the bottom, which is the one on the bottom. You've got your hoops or your rims. You've got your lugs, which hold the hoops to the top batter head, which obviously create tension. You've got your lug posts, which are sort of separate parts from the actual lugs. That's what the tension rods screw into. You've got the lugs that are generally bolted in the, I forgot what it's called, the part of the snare drum with the less sort of resonance. Is that it? Yeah. And then you've got your snares on the bottom, which can be loosened by this part here, which I've now just totally forgot the name of.
Okay.
You've got
that bit that you've forgotten what it's called, what does it actually do? Describe to me what it does.
Your snares are connected to that, so when you loosen it off, you can slacken off your snares from the bottom head. You've got the rim of your snare that goes all the way around it, and that's normally made of 7-ply wood that is...
The rim?
The shell of the drum, which is normally made of 7-ply wood. Mine's a 9 actually, and it can either be made from sheet wood that is steam bent. You can have it made like a barrel, which is one that goes straight down. You can have it made from a singular piece of wood that's been carved out.
What else?
I'm not too sure what else.
Where's the shell, Jack?
The shell? What do you mean by that?
Point to the shell.
There.
What's that one made of?
Wood. You can have different types. You can have steel shells. You can have acrylic sort of shells as well, I do believe.
Okay, flip it over. So talk me through the procedure for changing that top batter head.
You'd uncross tension your tension rods and remove them completely from the drum. Then remove the top head, wipe down your bearing edge. You'd then replace the new head that you've just purchased or bought. You'd then lube up your tension lugs, put it back on, and then cross tension them correctly across the drum again using cross tension tuning. Like find a pitch note to tune it by.
Okay. Then what? So start again. So if you were changing that top batter head, what would you do? What would the procedure be?
You'd uncross these, like the normal cross, then take them out, remove the top of the drum and the head. You'd then get your new head, place on top of the drum, wipe the bearing edge down first. Place the new head on, then the rim or the hoop. Make sure your tension rods are nice and loose, and so are your tension posts, whatever. And then cross-tune it back on again, so it's to a right tension.
Okay, so how would you know the right tension? Is there a way you can check?
You normally do it to finger tightness first, don't you?
Okay, so you finger tighten up the tension rods, then what do you do?
Then you can either place your finger down the edge or the side and just tighten it until it sort of pinches your finger, but not too much. And then you do that for each one, going around obviously in the cross tension thing again. And
why do we cross tension?
So you get an even spread of tension over the drum. It doesn't like warp the head or anything like that.
Okay.
And then obviously you'd go by each one and find if there's a different pitch around them. You'd obviously have a pitch that you'd work from or a note.
And how do you find that pitch?
You'd have a tuning note. So for example, say you have an A, and then you'd find one of those, tune it to an A, and you'd work around the drum, obviously crossing it again.
And how would you make that drum play an A?
You'd play an A note on something that was tuned to an A.
Okay, would you hit it with your hand, or would you?
You'd use a stick.
Okay.
And you'd find the right note on one till it gets to it, and then you'd cross over all of them until they all play at the right note.
Okay, good. So if you wanted to change the sound of that drum, what could you do?
You can tune it down to, say, a C, by which you'd do the same methods, but you'd obviously use a C note to find the correct place, and then
And how would you tune it to that lower note?
you'd obviously start with one tension rod, and then you'd get that to the correct note.
Would you tighten it up or tighten it down?
Tighten it down for lower
Okay.
notes, or up if you're going to a high
Right.
note,
Okay,
and
good.
then you could work around in the same.
So if that, once it was tuned and that drum was ringing quite a lot, what options have you got to change the sound of that? How would you stop it ringing?
You can change the resonant head on the bottom, can't you? You can adjust that to either be a higher or a lower note, depending on what sound you want. Isn't it normally tuned higher on a snare on the bottom than it is on the top?
Good, okay, good answers, well done.